got the keys to rise. Unlock your eyes. Keys to rise. From fear to flight, we rewrite our lives. Keys to rise. We got the keys to rise. Unlock your eyes. Keys to rise. From fear to flight, we rewrite our lives. Keys to rise.
Key facts, get it 5 years in the crypto in 2017. Morehouse grad, 25 years leadership in direct selling. Launched ILCA to make crypto understandable and actionable. Levy came up from the grind, Morehouse vision, power in mind. 25 years selling, leading lines. Became the crypto teacher in 70s times. Built ILC Academy lesson prime, teaching the people how to stack and shine. From 95 grind to freedom sign, gave us the keys to break the line. He walks the block with crypt plans, simplifying Bitcoin, blockchain hands. Boot camps, videos, community bands. Now we educate every land. Fear turned to knowledge, doubts turned to faith. From closed wallets to financial grace, every student stepping up their pace. Now we climb, no more weight. Brandon's the guy that ignites the flame, bridging gaps with lessons plain. From zero crypto to staking game, raising voices so lives change. No more chains holding back your name. ILC opened up the game, every person can rise, rewrite their frame. Time locks off, now we claim keys in our palm, destiny in view. From nothing to what we can do, crypto's our chance and he showed us how. Street to screen, we taking vow. Now the community moving strong, empowered voices singing this song.
Keys to rise. We got the keys to rise. Unlock your eyes. Keys to rise. From fear to flight, we rewrite our lives. Keys to rise. Brandon showed the way. Communities gamble pay. Keys to rise. Crypto truth we say. Together we rise today. Keys to rise.
Together we stand, we break the chain, building new futures from struggle and pain. With Brandon, his voice teaching truth in the rain. We find our purpose, we break the cage. Communities come alive, no more shame. When knowledge spreads, we own the game. From south to coast, we claim our name and pass the torch, we play no change. Every student stepping up to lead. Each course learned becomes a seed. Network strong, we plant the creed. Crypto education fulfilling need. Fear replaced with informed speed. From novice minds to knowledge freed. Equipped to invest, equipped to grow. We rise in unity, let the world know. Every obstacle is fueling our rise. Stand together, no dream denied.
We got the keys to rise. Unlock your eyes. Keys to rise. From fear to flight, we rewrite our lives. Keys to rise. Brandon showed the way. Communities gamble pay. Keys to rise. Together we rise today. Keys to rise. From 95 to crypto rise. From doubt to faith, from closed minds to wise. We rise together, one community strong. We rise together, united strong. Keys to rise, keys to rise, keys to rise. We got the keys to rise. Unlock your eyes. Keys to rise. From fear to flight, rewrite our lives. Keys to rise. Brandon showed the way. Communities gamble pay. Keys to rise. Crypto truth we say. Together we rise today. Keys to rise.
Bricks of cold, building a dream. Digital gold flows like a stream. Brandon's here with a spark to light. The Ivy League, the crypto fly. Education's key. Unlock the door. Dive in deep. Explore the core. Block, block, block. We rise together. Bitcoin storms. It's now or never. Education is risk you. No more guessing, no more doubt. The ILCA will help you out. Codes and chains, the future's bright. Learn the rules, step into the light. Brandon leads, the path is clear. 5 days to master, no need to fear. Block by block, we rise together. Bitcoin storms, it's now or never. Education is everything. Don't you see? Join the challenge. Set your mind free. Oh, block by block, we rise together. Bitcoin storms, it's now or never. Education is everything. Don't you see? Join the challenge. Set your mind free. Five days to flip your mind, unlock the code, leave doubt behind. Brandon Ivey's got the key to crypto's wild infinity. Blockchain buzz in the air. Bitcoin dreams will take you there. ILCA 5-day ride, learn the ropes, step inside. Crypto cash, the future's goal. Brandon Ivey leads us all. Beginners welcome, no need to fear. Crypto and blockchain made crystal clear. Follow the leader, he's breaking it down. Building your knowledge, building your crown. ILCA 5-day ride. Learn the ropes, step inside. Crypto cash, the future's call. Brandon Ivey leads us all. Digital gold in your hands. No more waiting, take a stand. From blockchain basics to knowing it all. This is your moment, hear the call. This is your moment, hear the call.
Yeah, we built it brick by brick. No fear, no quit. Turn the struggle to the shine, now we living it.
Clock the 9 to 5, man, the dream fell cage, but the fire inside couldn't be contained. Brandon saw the future in that blockchain flame, said I'ma learn the game, put respect on my name. No silver spoon, just hustle and faith. Late night studying, plotting the escape. From the cubicle walls to the global stage, now Ivy League cryptos breaking every chain.
From nothing to something, we leveled the view. Each lesson we're learning, we're pushing it through. No limits, no ceiling, we're making it true. Together forever, it's me and my crew.
From the ground up, we don't break, we rise. Turning pain into power, see the fire in our eyes. ILCA, yeah, we leading the way. Crypto dreams turning real every single day. From the ground up, no fear in our climb. Every second
people, it's not too late. Show them how to buy the first Satoshi state. Wallet trades, all coins, we master the play. Educating every block like we paving the way. Unity, we strong, got the vision intact. This ain't hype, nah, we dealing in facts. From boot camps live to the talks each morning. Every lesson plant seeds where the wealth is born.
We rise together, no one left behind. Thinking hearts, thinking minds, thinking dreams to the grind. From the shadows to the spotlight, we define our fate. In the Ivy League, we build, we educate.
From the ground up, we don't break, we rise. Turning pain into power, see the fire in our eyes. ILCA, yeah, we leading the way. Crypto dreams turning real every single day. From the ground up, yeah, no fear in our climb. Every setback just a setup for the perfect time. ILCA, we gon' light up the sky, 'cause we're building a future money can't buy. We built it brick by brick, from the ground up. Yeah, and now we're living. We built it brick by brick.
Brandon's got the keys to a digital door, teaching crypto like never before. Zeros and ones, they're the new gold. In a world that's fast, in a world so bold. Start small, think big, let your wallet grow. ILCA is the place where the dreamers go. Bitcoin for beginners, take the first step. Ivy League crypto, we're breaking the net. Personal coaching will show you the way. In the world of crypto, every day's payday. Entrepreneurs rising, we're changing the game, building futures, staking your claim. Blocks keep chaining, the ledger's alive. In the heart of the hustle, we all thrive. Start small, think big, let your wallet grow. ILCA is the place where the dreamers go. Bitcoin for beginners, take the first step. Ivy League crypto, we're breaking the net. Personal coaching will show you the way. In the world of crypto, every day's payday.
We don't wait to hear. We build it brick by brick. ILCA.
Yeah.
We really do this.
Crypto minds, enterprise, unified. It's a family that'll rise every time.
We are ILCA, where vision meets the grind. Crypto flows and teamwork grows. Yeah, we redefine. From dreams to plans, we walk that way. Empower the people, build a better day.
Say Linda, Melanie, light the
way. Rita, Patty, stay bold, don't stray. Kenny, Catherine, Joyce, we pray. We elevate each other, that's the ILCA way.
Started from a blueprint, now we scale success, turning passion into profit. Never settle for less. We advise, we ride, embedded in the grind. With Brandon Ivey roots, vision sharp, soul aligned. No hype, no scam, just discipline and truth. Crypto literacy's the torch, and we like the youth. We help them launch, we help them scale. Bridge the gap from dream to sale. Tailor plans, real math, strategy deep. From the 9 to 5 hustle to that boss level leap. We link the funds, the partners, the fam. In the spirit of Ivy, build who I am. Shout out to Leonard, wise mind on deck. Melly moving with that no regret check. Rita got the heart, Patty got the light. They don't just speak, they move to fight. We are ILCA, where vision meets the grind. Crypto flows and teamwork grows. Yeah, we redefine. From dreams to plans, we walk that way. Empower the people, build a better day.
Say Leonard, Melly, light the way. Rita, Patty, stay bold, don't stray. Kenny, Catherine, Joyce, we pray. We elevate each other, that's the ILCA way. Jenny crunching numbers, keep the future clear. Catherine sees next year before it appears. Joyce with the calm in the storm. Pure soul, guiding every mentee back to they go. This ain't just crypto, it's legacy breathing. Entrepreneurs rise, it's systems we feed it. Market analysis, strategy class. We ain't looking for permission, we just pass the glass. Every plan's a brick, every win's a stone, every fail's a step. We don't build alone, we don't chase trends. We build foundations, rooted in power, love and liberation. Hey. It's not about hype, it's about helping others rise. It's about a village of voices, climbing as one. That's what Brandon Ivey taught us, and that's what we live.
We are ILCA, where vision meets the grind. Crypto flows and teamwork grows. Yeah, we redefine. From dreams to plans, we walk that way. Empower the people, build a better day. Who we shouting out? Who we standing with? Hearts on fire. Who we standing with?
Who we standing with?
Rising higher.
Kenny, Catherine, Joyce, inspire. We the builders, we the choir. Light the fire, light the fire. Ooh, yeah. ILCA, feel that groove. Where the dreamers move and the builders rise. We don't just speak, we show the way. Helping vision turn to pay. From blueprint dreams to daily steps, we move in rhythm, no regrets. We craft a path, hand in hand. Side by side, we make our stand. Marnita's fire, it lights the spark. Rita's wisdom that leaves a mark. Oh, we rise, we grow, we shine like dawn. Yeah, each voice in the circle, lifting strong. ILCA, where the roots run deep. Crypto minds and the hustle don't sleep. Entrepreneurs with a vision so true. Together we thrive, yeah, we break through. Patty got grace, Joyce hold it down. Midge got that steady soul in this town. Amy running numbers with a cool, clean flow. It's family, it's purpose. Now you know. We don't just coach, we walk beside. In the boardroom of the daily grind. From personal growth to crypto gain, we teach that profit ain't just change. Fund and focus the market game, but love for the people stays the same. With Brandon's light and steady voice, we lead with power, not just noise. job. This is home, ILCA, where the roots run deep. Crypto minds and the hustle don't sleep. Entrepreneurs with a vision so true. Together we thrive, yeah, we break through. Patty got grace, Joyce hold it down. Midge got that steady soul in this town. Amy running numbers with a cool, clean flow. It's family, it's purpose. Now you know. Dream big, act small. We rise by lifting all. Side by side, we build our fate. With love, with soul, we educate it. ILCA. Feel the vibe, feel the flame. Crypto with heart, not just a name. Through teamwork, power, and legacy talk, we are the future that hustle ball. Shout out to the women who lead with grace. You all keep this world in place. Monita, Rita, Patty, Joyce, Midge and Amy, all of the voice.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our September edition of the ILCA 5-Day Challenge. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I will be your humble hostess for today. Now, there is something that I always like to say, and that is we totally understand there are so many different things that you can be doing with your time. My goodness, hello, baby. My goodness, the nighttime is the right time for family and for preparation of the next day. So the fact that you guys decided to come on out and hear what we have to say, of course, that makes us so very happy. So again, thank each and every one of you for being here. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell you every time we come together, this right here, ILCA, is exactly where you need to be. One thing that I've learned on my journey is that multiple streams of income, especially in today's day and age, is not a luxury anymore. Now it is absolutely a necessity. But what I have learned is that instead of me going out there and giving more of my time for money, why don't I just get educated in the finance of the future? Why don't I learn how to trade? Why don't I learn how to move in the cryptocurrency space where I can still do the things that I do every day, plus be able to make extra money on the side? And that's not just really extra money. What we can do right here with the blockchain and cryptocurrency is generational wealth. Now, me personally, I don't think enough people are talking about it, but every time we come together, that is something that we always encourage and want to enlighten people that here with us, this is freedom. Freedom to be able to do anything that your heart desires and for you to be able to come up with generational wealth for your family. So when I say this is the right place, and you're at the right time, I absolutely mean that, just like our VIPs here. Hello, everyone. How are you? It is always so very good to see you guys. I see you guys got your cameras on. That's what I'm talking about. One thing that I absolutely love about the 5-Day Challenge is that sometimes it feels like a family reunion. A lot of our VIPs are in one of our memberships, especially Crypto Talk, which means we get to see each other every day. But some of you guys, I don't get a chance to see until we have the 5-day challenge. So it is always, always good to not only see you, but to feel that positive energy coming from everyone. Now, my VIPs, you guys should know the routine by now. As you guys come on in, please type your name and where you are from in that chat box. That way I get a chance to tell everybody who is on the VIP side with the pool kids. And if you have the opportunity, like Papa Leonard over there, go ahead and turn on your cameras. One of the best parts about us being on a Zoom call like this is that we get a chance to see all your faces and see those beautiful smiles. So I'm going to go ahead and start saying hello to everybody. And I didn't forget you on YouTube. Hello, everybody on YouTube. We have almost 20 people watching. That's what I'm talking about. It's so very good to see you guys. You guys type your name in that chat box as well, so I can let everybody know who's here with us. So first up, of course, is Mr. Papa Leonard. Hello, Leonard. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Let me tell you something. Leonard is mainly driving whenever we have a session, but that just goes to show his determination and his loyalty to his education. He always makes sure he shows up, even if he's on the road. Leonard, we truly appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. I see we have Miss Carla Arrigo in the house. Hello, Queen. How are you? Miss Carla Arrigo and Papa Leonard are two of our ILCA partners. We truly appreciate you both and can't wait to see what you guys do in the future. I see we also have Mr. William Duzinski is in the house. Hi, Will. How are you, my friend? Thank you so very much for being here. It is always good to see you. Of course, Miss Jacqueline Briggs is in the house. Hello, Queen. She is coming on in from St. Petersburg, Florida. It is always good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here. I see you over there. I'm talking about Arizona. I mean, Mr. CJ Jackson, there he is. Hi, CJ. Thank you. I see you. Thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see you, my friend. Of course, the beautiful Miss Rita Burchard is here. Hello, Queen. How are you? She is coming on in, and she is representing San Diego, California. I know that's right. Thank you so much for being here. She says hello to everyone from San Diego. Of course, the beautiful Miss Catherine Clement is here. Mwah. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you so very much for everything that you do for our community. You are greatly appreciated. I see we also have Samantha Studebaker is here. Yay! Samantha, I want to give her a big congratulations. She just became crypto certified. So now we have two ILCA coaches in the house, and they are both women. Way to represent, ladies. Thank you so very much for everything you do. Congratulations, Miss Studebaker. I am so very, very proud of you. I see Tammy Lee Gully is here. Mwah. Hello, my beautiful queen. It is always good to see you. Thank you so very much for being here with us. I see Darius is here with us. Hi, Darius. How are you? Oh, my goodness, you guys, hold up. My aunt is here. Brandon Ivey's beautiful mother is here with us. Everybody say hello to the gorgeous Mrs. Cheryl Ivey. Hello, Queen. It is such an honor to have you here with us tonight. Thank you so very much for taking the time out and being with us this evening. I see we have Mr. Clairvaux Albert is here with us. Hi, Clairvaux. How are you, sweetheart? I had made an announcement earlier. Everyone, please send Clairvaux and his beautiful family our thoughts, our prayers, and more than anything, send them our love. They are going through a time right now with their family. Clairvaux, thank you so very much for being a part of our community. We greatly appreciate you, sir. I see Elijah Morgan is here. Hi, Elijah. How are you, baby? Thank you so very much for being here. It is always good to see. It's always good to see that smile, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. And so is another Ivy is here. My little cousin, future king, Mr. Donovan Ivey is here learning today with us. This is a great reminder for us, every single body here, especially if you have children. This is the time that you want to tell them to come on over and get some of this information. Why? Because this finance of the future is not for us. It's not for you and I, it's for them. And the sooner that we can get them educated, the sooner that we can get them interested, the better that we are shaping their future. So Mr. Donovan Ivey, Thank you so very much for being with us today, sir. It is very, very good to have you here with us this evening. I see Chris is here as well. Hello. Oh, this is wonderful. The family is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. It is a family affair. So thank each and every one of you for being here. You guys get ready for a phenomenal 5-day challenge. We have been working hard. We have been putting some wonderful information together for you. And tonight, we are reviewing what is the blockchain. Okay, everybody, we're at the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get our party started again. Thank each and every one of you for joining us for our September edition of the ILCA 5-day challenge. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I am your humble hostess for this evening. Now, it is my honor. I see you, Judy. Judy coming on in from Canada. How dare I see you, baby. It is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, but he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out and share his information with the masses, and this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built wonderful platforms and thriving communities like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa. I got to give it back to Miss Casa as being our hostess and also always here to help and support the community. She's a mother and a wife and a business owner herself, taking time out of her schedule to be here with all of you guys. And we're now going on almost our 4th year in business this January. So I'm very, very excited about that. As some of you were here from the very beginning, but Miss Casa was literally here. I remember the first time I told her, the summer of 2021, that I had the idea I was going to be creating ILCA. So she was one of the first people to hear about that and to see where we are today, and we're only getting better. So thank you for all the hard work that you're putting together, Miss Casa. And I see just for on behalf of my parents, my father thanks you as well for what you had just created for him. So we'll be talking more about that. But everybody else, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. As you see, my family is here. Oh, my mom got the camera on. Is that my dad trying to hide off the camera? Mom, you got to turn the other way. There you go. There you go. And there's my dad's face there in the picture as well. There you go. So I always say that this should be a family event, a journey that you're on. I think it is, who was that told me this morning? Either Samantha or Tammy? Someone this morning told me that they were visiting family and that they were getting their entire family educated and plugged in to create their crypto legacy for the family. Or was that Catherine? It was one of you ladies this morning. I apologize for not remembering. But this should be a family event. In fact, Miss Casa, you know your daughter. I told her what she's supposed to be doing. Oh, she's there. She's listening. Oh no. Keon, the king. That's Miss Casa's baby son there. My mom and dad, I don't think you've met Keon yet, but that is Marnita's youngest son. That's my baby cousin Keon, and I'm proud of it. Keon, I'm going to have some more assignments for you, young man, so get ready. But this should be a family event. You guys should all have your family members plugging in because this is information that that you can't avoid, you cannot run from. And one of the things I love about the 5-day challenge, especially day one, where we're going to be talking about what is the blockchain, is that I wrote this course back in 2018. And even though I've done this hundreds of times, as time changes, it is amazing to see how the world is slowly gravitating to and adopting and incorporating this technology. It was May of 2017 that I learned 2 things that changed my life. The first is that blockchain technology that we're going to talk about tonight is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet today, whether you like it or not. Believe it or not, understand it or not, trust it or not, your opinion of this is irrelevant. As I told my dad back in 2018, so you're going to be driving down the street, you're going to see Bitcoin ATM machines all over the place. And he went into a grocery store in our city that we live in, and there was a Bitcoin ATM machine. So you're going to be walking down downtown Laverne, and you're going to see the stores on the streets, signs on their window, we accept crypto for payment. But here's the thing that everybody is not prepared for, and it's going to happen faster than you can whip your head around, and that is your employer is going to tell you that you need to start getting a crypto wallet because we're going to pay you your salary in crypto. Now, which crypto is still up for debate, whether it's going to be Bitcoin, a CBDC, or a stable coin of some kind. And why do I know this? Well, the current president signed an executive order in February that mandates every single government agency must do all government contracts, pensions, and even salaries in crypto, in a digital currency. You don't have a choice on this. And when the government does that, all the private businesses are also going to follow suit. So when I say that blockchain technology is going to disrupt every business, it's going to disrupt everything in our lives. And you're going to be directly or indirectly impacted by it. But we're still early on this. People think, Brandon, am I too late because Bitcoin came out in 2009? The answer is no. Where the development of this technology is today is where the internet was in the late 90s. How many of you remember AOL dial-up? How many of you remember that trying to get on the internet, you took up your phone line? See, when I was still at my parents' house way back in the day, I remember we had a phone line, but my dad had his office. So he had his office line and a fax line. So we hooked up the internet to the fax line since that was never used, so it never tied up the house. How many times you guys remember calling somebody, you got the busy signal because somebody was on the internet? Who wants to go back to the internet technology of the late 90s? Could you stream anything back then? No. Was there something called Wi-Fi back then? No. Turn off Wi-Fi today and what happens in your household? I shared with you guys this story that my dad happened a couple of months ago. Yeah, look at this face. He knows I'm talking about him. When I don't know if it was the fires or the wind or something, but the internet was down for more than 24 hours. And my dad kept shooting me a message. The internet's still down. The internet's still down. I'm like, Dad, you were born in what decade? You know what life is. You can survive without the internet. But no, our lives are so tied to this technology. I think we all can agree that the internet has revolutionized the world. You shut off the internet and the world stops spinning. The blockchain technology is bigger than the internet. And my inner circle members, when I always talk about Web 3.0, because that's the future of the internet, what did I say, or what did we find out in the inner circle? Just type that word in the chat box. I asked you guys to do that this morning, that I realized it's even bigger. What is that word? Type it in the chat box because that leads to the second thing that I learned that changed the course of my professional career. And that is that cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. Now, that part is very important. There have been other economic shifts in wealth in the past, other industrial revolutions. How many of our relatives got to participate in the gold rush or the oil boom or even the computer age, the railroad business, the shipping magnates? Not many of us had that opportunity because it was only available for the few, the haves, and not the have-nots. This boom is available for everybody, regardless of who you are. There's only three things that you need. A cell phone. Yeah, Dad, this is my flip phone. I know you want to make fun of me about. I say that because my dad is not a supporter of this flip phone. The first time I got it, he was like, that thing's going to break. It's going to constantly be flipping up and down, up and down. It's not going to work. I said, Dad, it's going to work. And what happens? It broke. But anyways, you all have a cell phone. You have access to the internet. But it's the third thing. Do you have a willingness to learn? See, there is no barrier of entry in this space. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter whether you are white, black, Asian, Hispanic. It doesn't matter whether you are who your daddy is. No, there's no nepotism, racism, sexism. As Bill Gates said in 2014, this represents freedom because it's a technology. It's not based on theology or your political affiliation. It is based on math. And that is not, 2 plus 2 will always be 4, no matter who says what. Bitcoin and crypto and this technology is freedom. I figured that out in 2017, and I made it my mission and goal to teach as many people as possible about this technology to get involved. Because even though I say, this has been around since almost 15 years, the technology is where the internet was in the 90s. There's still room to grow. 10 years from now, you're not even going to recognize what blockchain technology is. And it's not even going to, it's going to be indiscernible from regular technology. It's going to be in everything. You're not going to have a choice. But right now, you have a choice on how you will be involved. I wish I knew what I know now, but being the age of my sons, who both of them are on right now, 20s and one is 18 years old, that, I mean, imagining where the world will be for them in 20 years, as my father taught me, I am very big on legacy. Legacy. It's not about me, actually. I'm looking 3, 4, or 5 generations from now. It only takes one in the household to change your family tree. And it's typically those that take advantage of new emerging technology of their time, because it's not going to be there 20 years from now, the same opportunity we have today. And I hate to scare you, but social media is now in a position to record everything we do and we say. No longer do we have to guess what our grandparents and great-grandparents were doing during historical times in history. Our descendants will be able to know exactly what you had for dinner last night, where you went on vacation, what clothes you were wearing, what music you listened to. They'll even be able to hear your voice and your thoughts because we put everything on social media. So I am very big on that so that 40, 50, 100 years from now, they won't look back and say, what was Papa Ivy doing? Did he at least try? It doesn't, my dad even taught me, always work hard at what you do. Even if you fall short, at least you gave every effort that you possibly could to make sure you're successful. Giving half effort is not acceptable. Not acceptable. So that is where we live today. And tonight, I'm proud to talk about our first lesson, which is what exactly is the blockchain. Now, I have my mom on here, and you guys hear me say all the time, I made these lessons in a way that my mom can understand. And I don't say that in a way because my mom is not able to understand things. She is very intelligent. I say that because my mom is technologically challenged. Baby boomers, you know what I'm talking about. Mom, I was just over there the other day. What was one of the things that we spent like 30 minutes on trying to get into? What was the problem? Passwords. I swear passwords is like kryptonite for baby boomers. Trying to help, but we spend all the time just trying to get the password right. But I say that so that I did this in a way that everybody can understand. I remember when I went to my first blockchain expo and I was listening in the audience, and the guys on the stands sounded like they were NASA scientists. Nobody can understand a word they were saying, and they were only talking to be impressive to each other, hear themselves talk. I said, nobody, the community doesn't know this, so I had to break it down so that you guys could get and you can understand, and that's what we've done here. So let's get into our lesson tonight. No, not that screen. We are screen 2. So what is the blockchain? This over here so I can see you guys. And again, I apologize. All of you on YouTube, I did not recognize you. Welcome. Welcome. This is your first time out taking a look at hearing what Bitcoin and blockchain technology is all about. So what is the blockchain? Well, the scientific term, a blockchain is a tamper-proof encrypted database secured by cryptography, which is the study of encryption that acts as an accounting ledger, keeping track of digital assets. Instead of being maintained by a single server like traditional databases, blockchains are decentralized. If there's anything that you take from this, it's that word, decentralized, and maintained by a distributed network of computers around the world. This database tracks every Bitcoin in the network and each transaction since the very first Bitcoin. You can think of Bitcoin as an accounting system. Through the blockchain, it is a way of recording transactions and value digitally in an open and distributed self-clearing ledger. Now, that's the technological, scientific definition of that. Now, beginners to cryptocurrency sometimes hear the word blockchain and think that the term blockchain is synonymous with Bitcoin. However, this would be like saying that smartphone technology and Apple have the same meaning. The relationship between Bitcoin and blockchain is like the relationship between Facebook and the internet. Bitcoin is based on blockchain technology and could not exist without the internet. Cannot exist without blockchain technology. Blockchain technology preceded Bitcoin, and blockchain technology could exist without Bitcoin. Just like Facebook is on the internet, Bitcoin is on the blockchain. Facebook cannot work without the internet. Bitcoin couldn't work without its blockchain. One way I described this to my dad, I said, Dad, when he was little, my grandfather used to make toys for him and railroad car sets and really big on the railroads train set. Even to this day, my dad he gets a 17-foot tree and gets the train around it for Christmas that my kids used to play with. And I said, think of it like this, Dad. The railroad tracks, that's the blockchain. The train that rides on top of it, that's Bitcoin. If you take the train off of it, the track is still there. And you could put any other rail train on it. But if you take away the track, Bitcoin cannot go anywhere. And I say that to say this, the idea of digital money is not new. The idea of digital money has been around since the invention of the first computer. The problem was the technology was never available to make that happen. See, the internet is Web 1.0. The internet, we're able to share things, share ideas, share data and information. So if I send information from me to you, we both have that same information. Well, if you're dealing with digital money like that, if I send you money, we both can't have the same money. The blockchain actually now is able to record that you actually transferred something from you in possession of your possession to somebody else's possession without the need of a third party to verify it. That's what blockchain, that's what decentralization is all about. So let's get a visual image in our minds. So picture this. There is a digital block that's created on the internet. Inside that block is data. For cryptocurrencies, text data of a list of transactions is inside of each block. For NFTs, text data detailing ownership of digital assets is inside of each block. Every time a new block is created, it is linked or chained back to the previous block. So you have a series of blocks full of data all chained together to each other. Another way to look at this, and I was explaining this to my son, I said, think of it like this. With my computer, I do not save anything on my computer's hard drive. I always use external hard drives. So this is one external hard drive. Once it fills up with information, I unplug it and I plug in a new one. Once this fills up, I unplug it and I plug in a new one. This is recording information and it's like building a chain. So once that block is filled up, it is now closed and another one is now open to do the same thing. So that's another visualization to get with that. Here's another way to visualize it. Picture each block as a page in a book. The data inside each block are the words on the page, and the chain is the book's spine that holds all of the pages together. Now, here's a pop quiz. Is there only one blockchain or are there many blockchains? Type it in the chat box. There are various cryptocurrencies, each with its own blockchain. For the blockchains of cryptocurrencies, the data inside each block is a detailed record of transactions involving that specific cryptocurrency. Basically, each block is one page in a digital ledger. Now, is there anybody that maybe on YouTube or on Zoom that does not understand what that word ledger means? And it's okay if you do not. We were never really taught that, and I'm looking for an example of one in front of me. I don't have it with me. If you do not understand what a ledger is, here's what it is. When you go to the grocery store or you go anywhere and you buy something, what does the cashier give you after giving you your change? They give you a receipt. And on that receipt, when you read it, is letting you know exactly what you purchased. That is the ledger. Or let me look at it another way. How many of you have direct banking or you have mobile banking? And if you get paid, you have your money go directly to your direct deposit. Well, if you ever want to open up your bank statement, and depending on what bank you are, at the end of every month, you get a notification that you have a statement from the previous month. And you open up that statement and it has a list of every transaction you did that month. That is a ledger. So the blockchain is doing the same thing. All it is doing is recording data and information like a receipt. So how are new blocks added to the chain? In order to add a new block to a chain, a complex math equation must be solved. For Bitcoin's blockchain, basically somebody needs to guess a number between 1 and 4 billion in order to add a block to the blockchain. This requires a vast amount of computing power, as well as some time, roughly 10 minutes per block on Bitcoin's blockchain. The individual or group who guesses the correct number creates the new block and is awarded 3.125 Bitcoins. This process is called mining. How many times have you heard somebody say, Bitcoin is not real, it's fake, it's a Ponzi, it's a scam, it's not real money? You know, President Donald Trump said that his first time in office. It's just made up out of thin air. No, you know what's made up out of thin air? This, the money in your pocket. We call this fiat money. The government can print more of it whenever they feel like it. Now, I'm sorry, were new gold mines discovered for the government to be able to just print more money? Well, that's even if we assume that money is even tied to gold. The gold standard, we'll be talking about that tomorrow night. 40% of all cash in circulation right now was printed during the COVID era up till now. 40%. And if you have more cash that goes into the ecosystem, what happens to the value of the cash you already have? It goes down. Inflation happens. The value of what you had is not as worth as much anymore. $20 at the grocery store. In the 90s, what would that have got you? $20 in the grocery store today. I remember as a kid, my parents made that $20 stretch a week. So $20 isn't that's not even getting me a whole meal at Wingstop on a Friday night for me. So we're looking at a slow decline to the value of the dollar over time. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is actually created. It is a reward for people who are taking their time. They have to go ahead and purchase equipment. They have to put in software programming for it. They need to pay the electricity to run it. And then they're competing with a million other people to build the blockchain. And once the block is created, the reward for that is Bitcoin. You got to incentivize somebody to do that. So every time there's new Bitcoin created, that means work has been done to make it happen. This is called proof of work. So if anybody doesn't understand where Bitcoin comes from, it comes from a bunch of individuals that are building the blockchain, and it's proof of work. It's the reward for doing so. Now, reality, we called it something like creating a new block by guessing the correct number. Now, Wednesday night, I'll be having Professor from Morehouse College, Oscar Sistrunk, will be here to talk. to you guys about the Bitcoin halving because every 4 years, that mining reward gets cut in half. So in 2028, it will be half 3.125 Bitcoin to 1.6 or 1.7 something Bitcoin every single block. The fact that it is so difficult to add a new block makes it so that no one organization can add too many blocks in a row. It would be like the same person winning the lottery over and over again. The fact that blocks are so difficult to create is also the reason why they are so tamper-proof and immutable. So now we know what a blockchain is, how blocks are created, and what each block is filled with, a digital ledger of transactions. To understand the significance, wait, did I hit the right one? Yeah. To understand the significance of blockchain technology, we must go back in time and look at ledgers and their functions. So let's talk about ledgers. A ledger is simply a documented record of transactions. A blockchain is a ledger. A blockchain is a documented record of transactions. Since the dawn of civilization, people have been trading things with one another. Humanity wouldn't exist if it weren't for the fact that humans traded with one another. Even before the invention of currency, tribes and early civilizations would often keep a record of who traded what with who. Dating as far back as 5000 BC in Mesopotamia, people used clay tablets as primitive ledgers to record transactions of crops and animals. And the funny thing about this is that when something is minted on the blockchain, it is there forever. It cannot be changed. It cannot be tampered with. It can't be erased and filled in. It's almost going back to how we used to do things with clay tablets. We're able to still see financial transactions from 3,000 years ago because they've been carved in stone. That's kind of what we're doing now, except digitally. Ledgers such as these would be used to keep track of debts owed, so it was important that they were kept in a safe place to avoid tampering or damage. Ledgers were kept safe inside of guarded temples and palaces, the seeds of the first bank. So imagine way back in the day, you are a fisherman or you're a merchant and you needed to sail into a foreign country's harbor. And the first person you would see on the dock is the port master, the harbor master. And you would need to declare what items you're bringing in to sell. And they would write it down on their ledger. Now, back in those days, not too many people knew how to read and write. So you had to trust that that harbor master was writing down the right information. Then when it's time for you to leave, you would go back to the harbor master and see, what do you have left? How much did you sell? Why? Because now you have to pay a tax for it. And you have to pay the harbor master tax. This is why, even back in the Bible, when you talk about the disciples, the wealthiest men in the land were the tax collectors, fishermen. You know, they when Jesus said you need to drop everything, to the average person today, they don't understand how wealth was looked at back in those days. Those were the wealthiest people of the land because you had to trust them. They're the only ones who had the ledger. Now, what if you had a dispute? What if the harbor master didn't like you? What if you messed with the harbor master's daughter at the pub the night before? Then another system came in called bribery. So you can bribe, and that became just another cost of doing business. So is there a better way? Yeah, that's when the first banks came. So later, banks took over the role of calculating and maintaining ledgers. This is why those of you who love Game of Thrones, when Tywin Lannister was schooling his daughter, Cersei, and Cersei was high on that her family is the most powerful people in the land. Who had all the power in Game of Thrones? Type it in the chat box. You guys have heard me say this before. Who held the most power? Miss Casa, Judy got it. The Iron Bank. Tywin let her know that. No. The Iron Bank is the one that holds the power. Whoever keeps the ledger owns the power. So the banks took over the role of calculating and maintaining ledgers. They kept track of transactions as well as debts owed and kept these records and ledgers safe. Except at this point, people were using currency and no longer bartering with crops, animals, and other goods. You know, my first time learning about the barter system, as a kid, my grandpa used to take me to the Compton swap meet. He didn't pay full price for nothing. In fact, it was against his being to pay full price. Even in the neighborhood, if somebody's car broke down, not everybody can just afford to go to the mechanic. Somebody in the neighborhood knew how to fix the car. If somebody's, hey, I'll fix your roof, you fix my car. My grandmother grew vegetables in the backyard. So somebody in the neighborhood always knew how to do something to help out the community. I thought it was amazing. My grandpa took me to the local grocery store and he bartered there. And I remember trying to say that you can't do that because, at the grocery store, they have fixed prices. But when you're in a small community like that, everybody knows everybody. He was able to pull that off. I still don't know how he did that. But now we trust the banks. The banks keep track of all of our transactions. So if we have a dispute, there's now a system in place. A third party system. Now, does that come for free? No. The modern banking system, we pay the bank for the privilege of them holding our money. The bank charges us a fee to hold our money. They charge us a fee to take money out of the account. They charge us a fee for it to just stay there. They charge us an overdraft fee. Then they take our money legally and they go out there and they invest your money to make them more money. And then they say, yeah, we'll give you maybe 1 or 2% for the year. The banks legally only have to keep 10% of whatever's on their ledger, actual cash in the bank. Which means even right now, if every single person ran to the bank to try to pull out their money at the same time, there's not enough cash to go around. This is what we call a run on the banks. Another way how I learned this as an early age, I go back to my grandfather. This is my mother's father. There's a movie that I love to watch every Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. George Bailey Savings and Loan. And that movie takes place around the time of the Great Depression, the war, whatnot. And what happened was there was a run on the bank. And everybody ran to George Bailey's Savings and Loan to pull out their money. And he's trying to tell them, I don't have your money. Susie, your money is in Bill's farm. Bill, your money is in Jackson's house and all this. So there's no 100% of the cash. And it is legal to do this. So this is our current system. For centuries, people have trusted banks to keep and maintain ledgers, which is records. People agree with the information in a bank's ledgers and trust that that information is safe from tampering or damage. Because everyone agrees with the information in a bank's records, banks are often used as an intermediary for transactions between two parties. When you swipe your debit card at the grocery store, and the point of sale terminal states that the transaction has gone through, the grocery store trusts that you've paid. The grocery store trusts your bank's records. Now, who owns that point of sale terminal? Not the store and not you. The point of sale terminal is charging the store a fee to have it in the store and is charging you a fee to use it. That is an entire wealthy-based, third-based system that's taking your money. Both parties involved in a transaction trust that the records of the bank are accurate. If the bank says the transfer has successfully been completed, then the buyer and the seller can both trust and agree that the money has in fact gone through. Now, what are the pros and cons of using banks and their ledgers? Well, banks add a level of trust and security to transactions. This is why banks have been around for hundreds of years. The downside to this is that banks and their governments have the power to monitor and control people's money, as well as put their hands in people's pockets with fees, especially when transferring money international and or converting fiat currencies. I remember the first time my parents set me up with my bank account after my first job, and it was Bank of America. And I remember my account got overdrawn just by a little bit. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just pay the fee on that one because my money was going to hit the counter the next day. I didn't know how the banks worked. What they did was They credited my account with the most expensive item first because I was only over by like a couple dollars. And then all the smaller items next. So my account got hit like 5 times and they charged me $30 per transaction. I thought it was robbery. I didn't understand what was going on, but that's how they do it. So the issue is for centuries, we have been trusting banks to keep records or ledgers of who owns and owes what. But at the same time, we've been sacrificing some of our privacy, independence, and percentages of our wealth and fees. Here's another way to look at even the ledgers. Ladies, if you go to the store and you buy a dress, you go home, it looked good on the rack, you put it on, and it doesn't look like it did as advertised, and you want to take it back. So you go back to the store the next day to return the dress. The first thing the clerk asks you is for your receipt. And you say, "Oh, I lost the receipt." And they say, "Oh, well, I can't take it back." And you're like, "No, no, no, you don't understand. I just bought this yesterday. You're the one who rung me up. It's the same dress that's right there. You can see the dress. Pull up the camera feed. It was me here at the same time. Yes, yes, I understand all that, but the policy is I need the receipt." But what if that's on the blockchain? All you got to do is pull up the blockchain and there it is. You see it right there. That's the whole point. You don't need to worry on a third party system. But what if there was a better way? What if there was some form of modern technology that could help us get the best of both worlds? What if we could have the security and trust while at the same time also have a financial privacy and autonomy? We would need a secure ledger that everyone could trust and agree on, and that wasn't able to be controlled, interfered with, or manipulated by any person or institution. Enter blockchain technology. Now, back in the day, businesses and the government called it distributed ledger technology, DLT. It's the same thing, okay? So if you hear the word DLT, that means blockchain technology. Just like for those of you who still get confused that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are two different things, it's the same thing. Blockchain technology. The government uses that for a reason. They say DLT. So how are blockchains different from banks? Blockchains are distributed and publicly accessible. A blockchain is a digital ledger, but it is a ledger that everybody has access to, yet nobody can control with or can tamper with or control it. Historically, ledgers and records have been centralized, locked up, and stored by one institution that has access and control. So for our entire lives, we've been dealing with the banking system where our finances have always been centralized, which is a con of decentralization, meaning most people are not qualified to be self-custody of their own money. Most people don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Most people don't know what to do with the money once they have it. And so we're used to the security of the banks storing everything for us. We're now moving to where you are the bank, which means this is why I say education is key. Education is everything. You have to learn how to handle that responsibility. What do they say in Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. So as good as it is that we are now in control of our own money, unfortunately, many of you shouldn't be holding your own money. So you need to learn some of the basics. It's another reason why lottery winners go broke 7 to 10 years after winning the lottery. Or sports athletes, baseball, basketball, football, hockey players go broke 7 to 10 years after they're out of the league. So this is why education is important on this. So for cryptocurrencies, the entire ledger is out in the open and accessible to everybody. So how are blockchains different from the banks? Well, one, blockchains are anonymous. When you look at the Bitcoin blockchain, you will notice that you don't see the names, email addresses, or any information about the sender and receiver. All you see are transaction hashes and wallet addresses. It is almost impossible to determine someone's identity based on these strings of random letters and numbers. This is the paradox of Bitcoin. Everybody can see all of the transactions, but nobody can see who is doing the transactions. Hope this makes sense. Blockchains are decentralized. For almost every major crypto, nobody owns or controls the ledger, which is the blockchain. Not Elon Musk, not Donald Trump, not the Federal Reserve, not the US government, not Bank of America, not Chase, JP Morgan, none of them. Nobody owns the blockchain. It is open for everybody. Having a decentralized ledger plus the inherent security of a blockchain eliminates the need for an institution, bank, or government to be the middleman. Now, just off that statement alone, do you think that's something that the banks and the government's going to like? No, they're going to see that as a threat, which is why for the first 13 years of Bitcoin's existence, all banks and government agencies were talking bad about Bitcoin and blockchain because it is real freedom to the people. Having a transparent, distributed ledger or blockchain means that cryptocurrency is open to everybody on the planet, not just a privileged few. And an entire 31% of adults in the world right now do not have access to a bank account. If you don't have access to a bank account, you are locked out of the financial based system. You cannot get loans. You cannot get business credit. You cannot open up a business. You cannot accept payments. Now, we just opened up the financial world to 31% of adults in the world. And all they need to do is have an internet connection. That's it. They don't need to have an actual bank account. Blockchain blocks require majority agreement to be valid. So that's the thing. If nobody controls the blockchain, how are things done? There is democracy. It is based on vote. We call it DAOs. And the DAOs are everybody who's involved all can vote on the direction of something. Now, if the majority do not agree, this is when a fork happens. And this has happened with Bitcoin multiple times, where they go off in two different directions, meaning the miners. What makes a blockchain so secure is the fact that it is distributed. There are multiple live versions of each blockchain. If somebody is able to tamper with even one block on his live version of the blockchain, then everyone else will instantly see that it doesn't match up with the other live versions, and it will be discarded. As long as more than 50% of live blockchain versions or nodes agree on something, the versions that are different are identified as false and ignored, and this all happens very, very quickly. What makes a blockchain secure? Blockchain blocks are essentially immutable. Every 10 minutes, a new block is created on the Bitcoin blockchain. This block is filled with data of recent Bitcoin transactions. The data in the block shows a list of wallet addresses that have sent Bitcoin to other wallet addresses, as well as the amount of Bitcoin sent. So one thing I was sharing with my mom when I first got her set up on her Coinbase account, I said, you got to think of this like sending an email. If you send an email to somebody else, what is it that you need from them? Their email address. So you get their email address, you type in your message, and you click send. Is their email address their name? No, unless they want to put it in their email address. It's just whatever address they come up with. Well, Bitcoin works the same way. If you're going to send if you're going to send crypto from you to somebody else, all you need is their wallet address. If you're going to receive crypto from somebody else, all they need is your wallet address. So you're already, we already live on almost a cashless society. We're used to using debit cards and credit cards for everything. It's rare that you see people carrying cash or writing checks. So blockchain is the same. It's just not being centralized anymore. It's decentralized, but the same concept. Once the block has been mined and the data is written inside, the block is closed and becomes added to the end of the blockchain. At that point, It is almost, and that's a key word I have to use in there, almost impossible to edit, modify, or remove it. It's like riding in wet cement. And once the cement hardens, the information written will be there forever. The block is basically immutable. But I use the word almost. Is it possible to hack the blockchain? Well, if one individual or organization were able to gain control of 51% of the computing power of a blockchain, then they would be able to double spend their coins. That means they could spend their coins, then delete that transaction and spend their coins again. It's like this. If you paid your rent and your rent was $3,200 or $3,500, your rent or your mortgage, and then you are able to hack into your bank and delete that transaction, and the money comes right back to your account, and then you're able to spend that same money again. That's what that means. Then delete it, you can spend the coins again. But now, to amount a successful 51% attack on a large crypto such as Bitcoin would require an astronomical amount of computing power, costing billions or tens of billions of dollars. So put it in perspective like this. You would have to spend tens of billions of dollars to hack one block. And here's another pop quiz. What is the Bitcoin reward of that one block? Somebody type it in the chat box. What is the Bitcoin reward currently of just one block every 10 minutes? You guys should be able to get this very quickly, especially my ILCA crypto certified folks. Guys passed the test. Even though you guys on YouTube want to type that in there, Leonard's the first. 3.125 Bitcoin. And then Judy's got the direct amount. What is that worth? $336,000. Would you be willing to spend? And then that would be caught very quickly and reversed. Would you be willing to spend tens of billions of dollars just to make $300,000? There's only one person, in my opinion, in the world that's crazy enough to try to pull it off just to say he did it. Anybody know who that might be? Type it in the chat box. There are estimated to be over 1 million Bitcoin miners in the world today. Brandon? Nope. But 1 million Bitcoin miners in the world today. Somebody will need to generate the computing power of over 1 million other miners to be able to temporarily tamper with the creation of the current Bitcoin block. A 51% attack on Bitcoin would be outlandishly expensive. Other use cases of blockchain technology. Pay close attention to this, because so far I've only been talking about blockchain technology being used to record, transactions, but it is so much bigger than that. Because blockchain technology is by nature secure, anonymous, immutable, and decentralized, it is being eyed for other applications beyond only cryptocurrency. Using a blockchain to cast votes in an election. Oh, what is one of the most polarizing topics in America today? Our voting system, the elections. Right now, and this is a fact, the United States voting system is the best and most secure on the planet Earth for the longest period of time. Yet, we have a country where half the population no longer trusts the system. Now, you want it to be fair? You want to make sure that this is fair for voting? Put voting on the blockchain. You put voting on the blockchain, you're not going to have double votes, illegals voting, dead people voting. You're not going to have any of that. And it's fair to everybody. However, as I state that blockchain technology will disrupt every industry, voting will be the last thing to be added to the blockchain. Why? Because both sides like it the way it is for different reasons. But voting on the blockchain, that makes things fair. What about using the blockchain to keep track of medical data? That is huge, huge. I shared this with the last 5 day challenge we did. My parents took a trip. I thought it was France. My brother says they were in Italy. Hey, Dad, you let me know if you guys were in Italy, where Mom lost her passport or was stolen. Was that Italy or France? Italy, okay. And they contacted me to go to the house and if I could get my mom's birth certificate to fax it over to the embassy. And one thing when I was looking at it, I was shocked just by looking at the birth certificate and Negro woman. I was like, what the what? Wasn't that long ago. But what if my mom did not have that birth certificate somewhere readily available for me to get my hands on? We lose paperwork all the time. What if all of our medical data is on the blockchain to be able to keep track, secured, where nobody knows it's you? I do have a couple of lessons on this, but later in the future, because you guys know I'm very big now on health, and next year we'll be launching our ILCA health division. I will be writing a whole lesson about blockchain technology and in the health industry. What about using the blockchain to keep track of the supply chain of food or other products? I do have a whole lesson about this. And this is also a game changer. Imagine going to the grocery store and you see your fruits and your vegetables, and you don't have to just trust whatever label they put on it. You'll be able to scan the QR code and you'll be able to see exactly when that was planted, what country it came from, how long it was en route, if there's any, what do they call it, recalls or anything like that. You'll be able to see all of that. What about just moving the supply chain of goods and services around America? Everybody's worried about AI technology taking over. No, it's not that AI technology is going to take your jobs. It's people who use AI technology that's going to take your job. So what does that tell you? You need to learn AI technology in your field because it will be in your field and you can still keep the same business, job, or industry that you're in. Using a blockchain to store authentic pieces of digital art. This is underrated. Remember, I wrote this in 2018. But when I talk about NFTs, this is more than just digital art. How about the tokenization of real world assets? Here's another pop quiz, because this is the reason why BlackRock and others are here. How much money is on the table for RWAs, real world assets? Someone type it in the chat box. How much money are we talking about here? Using a blockchain to store authentic pieces of digital art. And Chris is correct. There are multiple blockchains. Every coin has its own blockchain. $867 trillion. So I'll be talking about this tomorrow. When I said my head exploded in 2017 that cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth. How much money is being shifted? $867 trillion. All we need is a crumb, a piece of it. This is where my River of Money series comes in. Put yourself in the front of the river. My father's here, so I want to sidetrack just for 1 second because I'm big on legacy. His father taught him that no matter what you do in life, be the hardest worker at it. Work as hard as you possibly can at whatever it is that you have to do, whether you're a street sweeper, elevator operator, janitor. Now, when I hear that, there are some things that bother me about that statement. Two things that bother me. One is the job industries that were shared, because for people who looked like me, we weren't allowed to have all the jobs as everybody else. So we were only allowed to have certain jobs. And these certain jobs could only pay so much. So even if you work the hardest at it, you're still limited to how far you're going to grow financially. I've taken that and added on top of that. Not only be the hardest worker at whatever you're going to do, make sure you put yourself in an industry where there are no barriers on how much you can make and accumulate as far as resources is concerned. Did you know that 70% of all jobs in America do not even pay a livable wage? So even if you went to school, got a college degree, and you went out there and you got the best job, you still need at least two adults in the household working full time just to maintain a basic lifestyle for your family. And it's only getting worse, not due to any fault of your own, because you went to school, you got degree, you got the job, but because the industry is not designed to reward you for that hard work. Instead, you take that same hard work mentality, you get in front of the river of money where now you can take that same energy and become a multi-millionaire. And where is the river of money pointing today? You don't have to take my word for it. What are the millionaires and the billionaires and the president and the governments and the banks doing right now? So, what does that mean we should do? So, the digital art piece, that is big. NFTs. What about using a blockchain to store personal identification information? That is actually kind of scary. I love it and I'm scared of it at the same time. Well, not, I don't want to use the word scared of it. It concerns me because of how it can also be used for bad, for ill will, like World Liberty Financial or WorldCoin. You know, they want to scan your iris so you can prove that you're human. You know, when people think about revelations, at one point you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark. The technology exists for that to be happening right now. So as great as this is, we also gotta we gotta watch for how it can also be used against us. What about this? Using a blockchain to store important deeds, such as for land or a home. My family's from Louisiana. If you look at me and Marnita, you know, if we got a phone call that there's some property or land out there that the great great grandchildren may have access to, well, who gets it? How do we know who owns what or what? I say me, I'm older. I'm my grandmother's first grandson. I'm the favorite, all right? I'm the oldest. It goes to me. But Marnita's got an equal claim. My other cousin's got an equal claim. I used to tell the story about anybody heard of the Bruce's Beach here in California. You know, due to racism, minorities were not allowed to go to the beach. And then they finally allowed us to go to some discarded piece of land that the government or the community didn't find valuable. And the Bruces, a black family, bought that piece, built it up, and it started to become valuable. And what did the city do? Called eminent domain and took the beach from the family. And it took, what, 80 something years for the city to give it back. And it wasn't just that easy because the family members, who exactly is getting control? How many cousins are there removed? Great grandkids. And there was infighting with the family. You put all this stuff on the blockchain, it is what it is. There is no fighting on that. As a disclaimer, this information is intended for educational and training purposes and only should be used. Let me repeat that. This information is intended for educational and training purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. As with all financial decisions, you should contact your licensed financial advisor before investing in any financial instrument. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of our first night of the 5-day challenge. What is the blockchain? So what that means now is I'm going to turn it over to Miss Casa so that we can do Q&A. So now, normally, those of you on YouTube, I would shut off the live feed, and the Q&A is only for our VIP members, meaning those of you on Zoom with us right now, to be able to ask questions. You know, you can even ask AI, what's different between what Brandon Ivey does with ILCA and any other type of YouTube videos or Google. Here, we're a community where you're able to ask questions, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. We will be back tomorrow night, and tomorrow night we're going to be covering what is cryptocurrency. So tonight we talked about the technology that makes it possible. And now you need to learn about, okay, so what exactly is it? How does this thing work? What is Bitcoin and all this other stuff? Altcoins. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. Wednesday, we will be talking about wallets. How do I buy Bitcoin and crypto? And I will have a special guest, professor from Morehouse College, will be on Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday, we'll be talking about security, how to secure your assets so it doesn't get stolen from you. That is the worst thing. People end up losing their life savings because they jumped all into crypto and Bitcoin and didn't know how to secure their crypto. And most of the time, it's not that they got hacked. They end up giving access to their crypto to some scammers inadvertently. And these scams are wild. My dad just got hit up with one a couple of days ago that was talking about he owed money to McAfee or something and pay this invoice and call. We call these phishing scams. And in our security lessons, we cover all of those phishing scams, pig butchering scams, social engineering scams, which is very, very important as well. So not only do we want to show you how to be positioned in the space to earn an income and build your portfolio, we want to make sure that you're going to be safe to keep it for your family long term. Especially how many of you have family that know what you know. If something happened to you, will they be able to get into your Bitcoin account? Will they be able to know how to transfer it? Will they even know where to go? What to do? You see, I have a very large family. There's only one that I know that knows all this stuff right now. That's my cousin Marnita. She knows this. She was doing it with her daughter the other day too. So this is why I say this information is also for family. So those of you on YouTube, don't worry. I'm not going to cut off the live stream. I'm going to leave it open tonight. But the VIP members can ask questions if they have questions. Because most of these members have been here for a while and you've seen all of this before. So Ms. Casa, we turn it on over to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, you guys, this is my favorite part of the whole session is our Q&A. So there's only 3 things that we do ask of you. The first one is please do not unmute your mic until you are called upon. The second one is we do ask for 2 questions unless there's time for more. And the third one is the most important. People, there are no silly questions. So if you have something on your mind or if you have a question, raise your hand and I will be happy to call on you.
I will also allow anybody on YouTube, if they have a question as well, they can type it in
Oh,
the
good.
YouTube chat box.
Okay, wonderful. Miss Patty, guys, I was hoping you'd raise your hand. The floor is all yours, Queen.
Thank you. Here I am, feeding my dog. Okay, so great session tonight. And I wrote down something, Marnita. I hope I can find it. First, I'll start with you. Because you made a comment today that educating that the importance not only of ourselves but within our families as well is educating in the financial sector. And I thought that was just so key the way you spoke about that. So each day, each month, better and better, Queen. Okay, Brandon, so I have a question. So with the unfortunate passing of I don't know, what do you want to call him, of Charlie Kirk. So most times
you jumping out the gate on me. Okay, go ahead.
Well, most times, projects are well thought after, right? So that means that they've been working on it for years or putting the money together for years to bring this token to fruition or create their own blockchain. But right after his death, within an hour or less, there was a token representing him. So how is it that someone can go out that quick and just get on whatever blockchain they choose, or is that a known thing that they can do? And then this token is out there in circulation and it's now pulling in millions and millions of dollars. And what did they use to start with to bring that into to bring that about? That's my question.
You know how we covered that there are things called software as a service?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that training? Well, basically, there are, just like with NFTs, there are platforms that if you want to create your own NFT, like OpenSea, that you can go in there and just fill out information and they create it for you. The same with crypto. Anybody can create their own crypto coin. However, to do what these people did, it also takes money to be listed on a coin gecko or a coin market cap. If you pay $5,000 or $25,000 to be listed, and so creating a token is very, very easy and simple. I do not personally teach that because that opens up the door to a lot, especially if you're in the United States, to a
Yeah.
lot of financial scrutiny dealing with the US system, which is why ILCA will never come out with a token by itself. So I don't teach that, but it is very simple to do to create a new token within 5 minutes. Remember, if you go to cryptoslate.com. Or if you go to Dex Tools, and there's always a list of all the new tokens, and there's literally dozens and hundreds of new tokens
Every
every
day.
single day. So what they
Right.
did was wanted to take advantage of an international name that happened immediately, and to try to feed off the wild emotions after that. So the uneducated people, there's two types of people that they were going for here. One, the uneducated people who don't really know much about crypto. They see that there's a token in Charlie Kirk's name, and that if they buy the token, the money's gonna go to his family, his wife, and kids. And so they just want to give from the heart. But then you have another group that know that they're going to take advantage of everybody else because this token is going to rise immediately, the pump and dump group, and then sell it before it has a chance, everybody else has a chance to understand that this is a fake coin. So yeah, that's the good thing and the bad thing about crypto is anybody can create a token.
Thank you for that. So that was a great explanation, so I understand it. But so my last piece of that, and you probably did mention it. So because anybody can create that token at the drop of a hat, do they have to come in with some type of capital to begin it? Or are they just anticipating just sales being generated and here we go, here's the
Yeah.
pump and then
Well, more money means more exposure. So they can pay money to get on one of the exchanges. They could pay money to get on like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, so more people will see it. Normally, if any token that's created on the blockchain is now visible to anyone who's watching it. And so that's another form of exposure. The first time they see the Kirk name pop up, and all of a sudden
yeah.
it's going to start to get some traction. And then people talk about it. And now it's going through Reddit communities and Discord and Telegram, WhatsApp, and it starts picking up speed. So you can do that without having to spend any money.
Yeah, it was
But the
so
ones that
fast.
want, yeah, they got to like MoveQuest. MoveQuest
Yeah.
never got, when people have been waiting a year for that to be listed the way these fake coins got listed in 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So the more money you have, the more exposure you're going to be able to do.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you for that question, Miss Geis. That was a phenomenal question. I've always wondered that myself. Mr. Ivy, thank you so much for that explanation. There was a couple of things I didn't know there, especially about them not needing capital to just go and start a coin. Education is absolutely key. My goodness. Is there anyone
Now, Ms.
else?
Casa, if you can answer the question on YouTube, Gwen's asking, how do I get on the Zoom?
Gwen, I'm so glad you asked. Yes, I would love to answer that. If you are one of the many people who would like to be on the ILCA Zoom call with us, all you have to do is go to ilca.app. That's ilca.app, and you will actually get all the information you need about the different memberships that we offer, as well as the courses that we offer. So again, that is ilca.app, ilca.app. Or get back to the person who invited you.
Oh
Because
yeah,
now,
oh yeah. Do you want to
yes,
share that info?
yes. And also, if you guys would like an affiliate link, this is a quick update. Many of you heard the message that I left in the Telegram group. But for those of you that would like an affiliate link, please send me a private message. And to those of you on YouTube, even if you're not a member yet, let's just say that you just registered, you want to check it out, you love what you hear, and you have friends and family members that you know need this information. you might as well send me a message. I can get you an affiliate link. Let's say they come to the 5-day challenge and they decide to join our memberships. That is wonderful for you because you will actually receive a commission. And if they join a membership, that commission will come to you monthly. So if you want any information on that, or if you would like an affiliate link for yourself or one of your family members or a friend, please send me a private message. I'll be so very happy to get that out to you. Oh, back to you, Mr. Ivey.
All right. Anybody else? Anyone else has any comments or questions? Any aha moments that you want to share? Even my own parents. This is the first time I think they both have seen me do our 5-day challenge like this. If you guys have any questions, you can ask that too here. So anybody, any comments or any aha moments?
Okay, I just want to say real quick, I'm sorry, normally I don't interrupt you like that, Mr. Ivey, but my aunt and my uncle said thank you to me. I just want to tell you both, I am so very happy that you guys liked it. Any suggestions or anything that you want me to add or take away, you just let me know. But I am so very honored to do that for you both. It was absolute pleasure for me, okay? You guys are so very, very welcome. Very welcome. Okay, now back to you.
All right. Yeah. Oh, Gwen, George, you're from the Move Quest. You signed up and registered. Fantastic. Welcome. Now, if you register for the Inner Circle, you're going to receive an email that's going to give you instructions on how to, it's going to give you the link to this Zoom for the 5-day challenge of VIP. And you'll be a part of our Inner Circle Crypto Talks that we do Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Thursday. So you'll be with us tomorrow. All right, if that is everybody, again, thank you guys for being here and taking time out of your schedule. We went a little longer than normal tonight. We will be back tomorrow, starting right on time. Those who might want to come early, we have an entire ILCA music playlist. So I opened up this Zoom 20 minutes early and I just play ILCA music. And so you never know, you might hear your name in some of the songs. So come out here early. We'll be back tomorrow night for day 2 of the 5-day challenge. What are cryptocurrencies? And I could pick on my brother. No, he's not coming till Friday. I love picking on my brother on that day because my brother said something to me. He was like, what is this kryptonite thing that's going on? It's this cryptocurrency. He said, yeah, but money's backed by gold. Really? Dr. Ivey, born in 1978? We got off the gold standard in 1971. It's never been on the gold standard your entire life. But that just goes to show that, you know, we gotta get the word out here about this, the accurate information. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. What are cryptocurrencies? Inner Circle VIP members, I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And of course, I got to end by playing one of our songs. I have no idea which one. This is just on random. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the Inner Circle. God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.
Started with a vision, now we're breaking through the noise, turning dreams to daily wins, lifting every voice. Crypto in our pockets, power in our hands, building future step by step across this blessed land. And wow, Bill's got the fire, crazy Carla's got the spark, Mitch brings the wisdom even when it's dark. Shona's laying blueprints, Sandy's got the drive, Amy's pushing boundaries, Rhoda keeps us alive. We build together, we rise as one, from sun up hustle till the day is done. Crypto strong and purpose proud, here ILCA and we say it loud. Through every trial we light the way, dream big, act small every single day. With love, with grit and a plan so clever, we don't just grow, y'all, we build together. We got the dreamers back, the bold turn side hustles into go, from strategy to funding lines. We help them cross that finish line. More and we follow through, where we don't just grow, y'all.